Did Sean Strickland beat Dricus to Plessis at the UFC 297 main event? There's been a lot of controversy and a lot of debate over who really won the fight for the middleweight championship belt. Don't get me wrong, it was a close fight. But a lot of people online seem to think that Sean Strickland won the fight extremely convincingly. And when I was watching the fight live, I genuinely didn't know who was going to win. The judges were a bit iffy. They robbed Arnold Allen in his fight, and I was a bit surprised by that. So I was a bit skeptical at what these judges are really looking for. And it seemed like they favored the grappler most of the night. And anyone who's a fan of MMA or the UFC would know that when a fight is close, genuinely it could go either way. And this fight was close. The round to look at to see who won the fight would have to be round two. Because round one, Strickland definitely won. Round two was the round that you really got to analyze and look at it carefully. At the beginning of the round, and actually for most of the round, probably about 4 minutes or 3 minutes and 30 seconds, I would say Sean Strickland was winning the fight, with the jab, just getting Dricus, catching him, and Dricus couldn't really catch his flow. But then that last minute and 30 seconds, Dricus started to come back and started to do a bit more work. And he got that takedown as well. So depending on what the judges are looking at, it depends. Like, it really depends, because anyone could say, yeah, Sean Strickland won that round. But I genuinely just don't know. It's one of those rounds that are iffy. It is a bit hard to rate the round and decide how are we deciding who won this round. When we go into round three, that was, of course, no doubt Dricus's round. Round four was also Dricus's round, I would say. And round five was probably Strickland's round. So we got Strickland for round one, round five. Okay, Dricus for round three, round four. Round two was that round that we really don't know. Like, it's hard to say exactly who won the fight. It was a close round. Like I said, for most of the round, Strickland was doing more work. But towards the last minute and 30 seconds, Dricus started getting into it and started landing more, started doing a bit more. It really comes down to whether these judges of valuing takedown over striking, because sometimes there are judges that favor the grappler and there are judges that favor the striker. Now, there are certain judges that value takedowns and rate takedowns very highly in their judging process. The thing is, if nothing is really happening with the takedown and you're just getting the takedown, well, how much of the takedown is really useful? And that's where, like, I really personally wouldn't know, but you would have to look at what the judges are really deciding, because Dricus did get quite a few takedowns in the fight. But like I said, Sean managed to get his way up pretty quickly for most of the fight, I think. So like I said, if the judges are valuing the takedowns and they're valuing a little bit of control time, and then they're seeing, okay, Dricus had round three, round four, the fight was close. Round two, we don't know who they would personally give round two. I mean, obviously they gave round two to Dricus. It's just interesting to me though, because this fight genuinely could have been a draw. Like I said, I wouldn't have been mad. I mean, I'm South African, so I probably would have been mad if Sean Strickland won, because like Dricus literally made history for South Africa, and he's doing a lot. He's putting South Africa on the map for the UFC. He made history. He's a legend. From where I come from, so I was definitely rooting for him. Personally, though, I did think Sean Strickland was going to win, just because Sean's defense is so good. Like, Sean, just the way he checks, the way he's just moving, the way he's blocking, like the fully shell, the way he uses it to his advantage is just on another level. His defense is so good. And I mean, we saw that in the Adesanya fight. I thought before I watched it was just, how is Sean going to deal with someone as awkward as Dricus? His fight style is very awkward. The way he moves, the way he's constantly pushing forward. And I mean, it was a completely different fight to the Adesanya fight. Adesanya was constantly on his back foot. Sean was pressing forward the entire fight. This fight, Dricus was mostly the guy who was having that octagon control, pushing Sean back for most of the fight. And that was pretty interesting. I also didn't know if Dricus's cardio was going to hold up, because we have seen he's had issues with his cardio, and he has a big frame, he has a lot of muscle. He's a big guy, to say the least. So I really was wondering, like, bro, I was just saying, if Dricus gasses out, Sean's cardio is so good, he's on another level. I mean, we saw he didn't sit down once in between the rounds. I was like, if Dricus gasses out, it's over. It's gonna be a problem. But you know, he had a hella good cardio. He was still pushing forward towards the end of the fight. Personally, I think that anyone who's a fan of Sean Strickland, you know, and I'm a fan of Sean Strickland, but if it comes to somebody from my home country, I'm obviously gonna back that person. And I personally think that if you were rooting for Dricus, you think Dricus won. If you were rooting for Sean, you think Sean won for the most part. I think definitely most people that are saying Sean won convincingly are definitely fans of Sean Strickland, and have a little bit of bias. And I think the same goes for Dricus because, you know, it was, like I said, it was a close fight. I wouldn't have been mad if it was a draw either. Like, it was really a close fight. Obviously, I'm happy with the result and I'm happy with the outcome. People were saying that Sean won, that, like, this is a robbery. This is the biggest robbery ever. I don't know about that. I personally don't know about that. But what I will say is, and I know I sound like somebody that's sitting on the fence, but I am going to sit on the fence. And I think that it was a very close fight. I think that it could have gone either way. Despite who you were rooting for, I think as fans of the UFC, we should be, you know, grateful and thankful because a lot of fights in UFC fights, a lot of fighters like to fight for points and like to, you know, run away and not really engage and throw down. I think as fans, we should be grateful that we got a war. Like we got two guys going in there to slug it out. It was exactly as advertised. They were trying to kill each other in that octagon, and they both looked like absolute warriors. So, you know, Strickland never won. Strickland won. Dricus never won. Dricus won. Whatever you think, us as the fans are the real winners at the end of the day. You know, thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe if you and hit that like if you want me to do more videos like this.